Good morning, this is Dominic with TheBackVlog. Recently, I finished my first foray into Natsume Soseki, which is Kokoro, which I guess is heralded as his magnum opus anyway. I guess the book refers to him as one of the godfathers or grandfathers of modern Japanese literature. And, you know, this is kind of like it's his swan song. It's basically, I'm interpreting it, and I guess other literary scholars interpret it as basically his kind of revealing of his deepest regrets, though like obviously there's an air of fiction to it because the character that he's speaking through is a fictional character. So I can't imagine that like the circumstances around that character and Soseki's circumstances are identical, but I think the sentiment of the regret is there. Reading the introduction of this was really interesting because it made me really think about the historical context of all the changes that Japan was going through post Meiji era. Because like at the end of the Meiji era, the era of peace, I guess it ended late 1800s or early 1900s. That's whenever the modern era of Japan started to come in. I don't really know much about the specifics of Japanese politics, so I can't really speak to it. But just the change that Japan underwent, reflecting the changes that some of the elderly characters in this book undergo. The way that those two things reflect each other, I found really interesting. I think structurally, it's also really interesting because there's three distinct parts to this, and the first part is kind of like the blossoming of a mentor and student, not really student, but like apprentice, I guess. A mentor and apprentice kind of relationship, and there's an air of mystery because the sensei, he calls him, is really kind of like secluded. Not like, I don't know. I guess he is kind of secluded because really his wife is the only person he talks to or anything. But he kind of like shuts himself out, and he has this background that he's not like talking about, but it's obviously eating away at him to the point where he repeatedly states that he detests humanity. So you have this relationship built upon differing age groups, as well as the drive to learn and sympathize with human experience as a youthful person. So you have that first part, and then you have the second part, which is about the apprentice and his relationship with his parents, and kind of like the deferring societal expectations, because they're very conservative in the way that they present themselves. For them, it's all about local reputation. It's about success. It's about doing things the right way, marrying at the right time, marrying at all. But for this apprentice character, a nameless character, what he's really interested in is philosophical development, I would say, and doesn't really subscribe to what then was like the modern day convention. And I think that's really interesting because conflict like that, like a breaking of the mold and wanting to expand past beyond what is already societally the norm, that hasn't gone away. And I'm sure when this was written, it wasn't new either. That's something that as humanity, continues to change. That's something that's always going to be at the heart of one of the conflicts between the youth and the elderly. Not really the elderly, but like the youth and their superiors, I guess. Because, as things change, societal expectations are going to change as well. And it's only a matter of time before a change is like taken into full effect, and it's up to younger people to really decide whether they want to move with that or try in vain to keep things the way they are. That's just my interpretation anyway. But then you have the third part, which is over half the book. It's the longest part, and you have this letter written by the sensei character going into his life and why his worldview is the way it is. And it's like super deeply personal and tragic. And the introduction of this book states that Kokoro was originally just this letter. It was essentially a novella before it turned into the whole thing. The heart, which is Kokoro, that's I think that's like the direct translation in Japanese. But the heart of this book, the Kokoro of this book, is this letter, and it is thus expanded upon. It's really interesting. Another thing that the introduction talks about is the heart as a symbolic thing, not just like the way in which a person loves, but a way in which a person thinks as well. Because there is a lot of themes of like love in here, be it like fatherly love or romantic love. But then there's also the aspect of following your heart, as in like following what you feel like your true calling is, and trying to, again, like break the mold and surpass, societal norms by following your heart. And obviously here it's to varying degrees of success, given what ends up happening in this third part. I think it's just really interesting the way that the heart is represented here. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this. This was a lovely book. It's another, like, one of the things I love about a lot of Japanese literature, not all of it, but a lot of it, is that because it's translated from Japanese, and Japanese is an inherently poetic language, the translations, assuming the translations are good, assuming the translator like has some sort of writing prowess, translations usually end up coming out beautifully poetic as well. And like, the descriptions in here, the way that just like nature is described, the way that the passage of time is described, it's just really beautiful. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it, but it was fantastic. I'm looking forward to other Sosaki's works, namely I Am a Cat, I believe it's called, which is his first book, which I'm under the impression is more like a comedy. So like tonally speaking, I Am a Cat should be like the polar opposite of Kokoro, which sounds very interesting to me. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. But yeah, that was Kokoro. Fantastic book. I hope you have a wonderful day and take care of yourself.